Well, I'm at the beautiful Cornell Farm, and I am here with the delightful Amy Stewart. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. I'm good.
We're going to be talking about your latest book, Wicked Bugs.
Great.
Now, one of the things I really found interesting was the reviews have come in. They're wonderful on it. And in fact, New York Times said that in 2009, your best-selling Wicked Plants book, that now that you wrote this, they think you might have a dark side.
I think so. Right.
So tell us, first of all, what was the impetus? What made you think, bugs, wicked, yeah, I'm going to write about that?
Well, so it started with the plants. That one came out 2 years ago. And, you know, I talked to a lot of botanists and growers and people in the plant world, and they kind of all have a dark side.
Yeah.
No, they do.
It's true.
They're into collecting weird, exotic, strange, and sometimes deadly plants. So I just kept seeing them, and I thought, well, this is really interesting that there are all these plants out there that can kill you. I mean, we don't think about that. But of course, they're just trying to defend themselves. So it was a pretty short leap from plants to bugs. There are a lot of fascinating poisons in both worlds. And so I thought, I don't want to do a field guide or a reference book. I want to tell stories. Yeah. So it's like, who has been murdered? What crimes have been committed? What wars have been started? It was all that stuff.
And it's throughout history.
Yes,
the information
right,
is.
yeah.
Because I think, you know, we get set in our minds, we get ideas of certain bugs like black widows, scorpions. Those terrify us, but really the ones that we should be terrified of are much kind of smaller, and we don't even think about them a lot of times.
Well, I mean, mosquitoes, of course, are deadly, transmit all kinds of awful disease.
And tell the numbers about wars, because that really puts it in perspective.
Well, yeah, mosquitoes, with malaria, mosquitoes have killed more people than all wars combined.
See, that's
amazing. That's just malaria, and they transmit a lot of other diseases besides that.
And a lot of those things, I mean, fortunately in America, we don't have a lot of the issues that the world does, but if you take that step back and look, a lot of people really are affected by these creatures.
And here's the thing, is we solved a lot of these problems. We don't have a lot of deadly, awful insects here, and we could choose to share that with the rest of the world. We just need to step up and do that.
Yeah, free our minds and open our hearts a little bit more.
There you go. I like that.
Now, also, you do have a section. It's not, even though we're garden time, it's not a book specifically on garden insects, because honestly, Amy, most insects in the garden, compared to these things, no worries.
Are great. And so here's my point too, is that bugs are supposed to eat plants. That is how nature was designed to work. That's a good thing. If bugs are eating plants, all is right with the world and with the ecosystem. So I don't call a bug wicked for eating a plant, but I did include for the gardener some of the worst offenders and maybe a few weird things they might not know about them.
And so that what is like in that chapter, give us an example of a couple that you might think.
Well, okay, so well, here's something with aphids. Couple of things. There's an oleander aphid that pulls the poison out of oleander, the cardiac glycosides that are in oleander, and packs that poison around her young to protect them. So that's interesting that they're working with a plant poison. And most aphids actually are capable of these telescoping generations where the female is not only pregnant with her daughter, but her granddaughter and great-granddaughter. So there's one pregnant female inside another pregnant female, like those Russian dolls, which is just creepy. And it explains how a population of aphids can just seem to explode overnight in
overrun your yard in no time.
Right.
Well, now, there are a couple of really unique things. This one here, tell us about this little creature.
The Asian giant hornet, which is not so little.
No.
They actually get bigger than this, and
this isn't magnified. This is actually how it is.
That is a real Asian giant hornet. The sting is said to feel like a hot nail through the leg. That's how painful it is. And they also attack Japanese honeybees, which is terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Don't mess with honeybees. No.
If you do, then you're going to be messing with Amy.
That's right. That's why I'm going to come get you. Yeah.
Now, also, there's a lot of things in the book that I found interesting because it wasn't expected. Like military information was really cool to me.
I mean, so not only have we used bugs in war, like, you know, the Greeks and Romans used to catapult beehives over the enemy's wall. So you get, like, right out of Monty Python, right? You can picture them with the catapult hurling. But even, you know, the Japanese were in World War II were infesting fleas with the plague, and they were going to drop them over California.
Oh, wow.
That was their plan, which they did not get to carry that plan out, but that was their plan. But, you know, also our troops, I don't think we think about, throughout history, soldiers have had to live with terrible bugs in war, but even today, our troops in the Middle East right now are dealing with scorpions and spiders and really awful creatures that we don't have back here. And when they come home, a lot of times doctors here don't even know how to treat them.
Well,
So-
yeah, you in the book it talks about the tapeworms that are often misdiagnosed in the brain as cancer and tumors.
Tumors,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, around the world, this is not so true here in the United States, but around the world, tapeworms are the leading cause of epilepsy.
Wow.
Because they can get in the brain.
Well, first of all, it's a delightful book. And
Believe it or not, right?
It really is. It's
spite of the
funny and it's
tapeworms.
witty, it's informative, it has intrigue. So I would really recommend picking it up. For more information, you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over to Amy's website. And I am looking forward to your next book with just wonderful excitement. It's been delightful chatting with you. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Amy.
my pleasure. Thanks.